the main rhythm of rock and roll. I made a bunch of videos on the intro, look them up, Bonzolium Rock and Roll or other people's. This is what I think, in my opinion, is the rhythm concept, okay? And specifics. It is pretty popularly known, possibly erroneously, that Bonham does, okay, the whole time. Now, right now I'm talking about the studio recording, 1971, okay? Bonham live at Knebworth. You got to watch this guy. He was heavy as hell at Knebworth, and he's playing rock and roll pretty much the whole time doing this. Now, I'm going to tell you something. Bonham and a lot of really good drummers, I mean, most people probably with really good technique today, which are everywhere, do this kind of really well. See how I'm kind of in a French sort of way going. I can't really do that with my left hand. Well, my left hand's all over the joint. Hopefully I'm not going to die. But Bonham did that very well. If you watch in his technique, whenever he did his rolls and stuff, he sometimes was very French, especially with his left hand, okay? So my point is this. While Bonham at Knebworth did appear to go, let's switch hands. The whole time, again, he's not exerting a lot of influence with his hand there. I don't think he did in the studio recording. Okay? So, he does it on the, right? And on the intro, okay? He does that there. Again, as far as the intro goes, go back to my anybody else's videos, the different content, we're on the tune. But I think when he comes in, I don't think in the studio recording he's going. In fact, there is a pulse there, but I think Bonham is creating it with this bass. God, there's like stuff flying out of my mouth. I'm foaming at the mouth in Zeppelinville. I think most of what you hear is the hi-hat and the bass drum, like. I think there's a lot of that in the song. Now, not the whole time, but you hear it in there in points. There's definitely a whole lot of sort of up-tempo-y, like, to me it sounds like, I'm offering my opinion. Nobody asked, but people have asked, honestly. I've never made a video. That you hear almost like, so like, so almost brought up dynamic-wise. So let's see. Okay, like that. That's what I really think is going on in the studio recording. If you disagree, fine. Make a video where you do it. Even if you, I don't mean to be a smartass, even if you can't really do it, pay a great drummer to do it, okay? My point is, it's not like you can't, I mean, whoever the hell can do it. If you listen to a really good drummer do it, play it through and sit and listen to his drums, you're not going to hear, I think, that timbre of rhythm. His snare drum going the whole time. Honest to God, I really think it's just the hi-hat. I mean, there might be points where he's doing real light tapping, like, I mean, you got to get that backbeat. Again, I can't do it. I do it with my weak, horrible left hand and sort of one of those, where I think Bonham's just a real light, almost like with the fingers. Like, Jesus Henry. All right. Like this, okay? Like a French thing. But I think that, but even then, with that light touch, pay a drummer to do it or do it yourself, put it on YouTube. I don't think he's doing it. Timbre, sonically, I don't hear it in there. I think most of the groove, when it's not that, or is that very percussive hi-hat, which I think he's also playing up the stick instead of, or I think it's very like this, okay? It gives a certain sonic quality. It really does. Check it out. You know what? These things are so open. I student over and we were farting around with the height. Whatever. Okay, so this. Screw it. Forget this for a minute. So then, I think buried in the mix, in the way those are mixed, you get that very percussive, lower on the stick hi-hat sound. Combined with but listen to that, it's up tempo. Bonham's 23 when he's doing it, or 22. Okay, now that takes a lot of energy, at least for me. Let me get that out of the way for the love of God. Because I'm not really, I think, playing it right. I mean, you might argue whether what I'm playing, but doing those notes. Look at this like DW type, it's Atomic Camco, a lot of momentum to it, like okay, not as much as a DW, but there's a way, I mean, great drummers, and they're all over the joint, can go, like in one motion, like, right? But see, I'm doing that totally heel up, which is impractical. I'm doing short bursts like that, but I think a lot of these guys, their heel will be down, and they'll go, like, almost like a slight heel up thing, but more like a rocking kick in or something, right? Whatever Bonham did, I know on a Speed King, I'm not going to say it's easier, okay? But it's maybe a little, well, I'm trying to keep my foot down. In those he goes. Okay? But I think by and large what you see here is going on. There's no doubt that you do have this. Like there's a few times I think you have a straight up quarter note. I don't think it's really repeated ever, but you might have some of this. So like okay, like just that's going on, but just think chugga chugga, like piano, ding 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 ding. That's really what it is, like a boogie woogie. Anyway, so let's, you know what I'm going to do just for, see, I'm not going to be able to do it nearly all the way through, but I'll try to play this. I'll try to play. Hopefully the first 40 seconds. Hey, what the hell I think he's doing on that recording, okay? Get some energy, make sure my butt cheeks are all ready to sit down for a little while. Okay. Alright, so, remember, up here a little higher. I might lower the snare just a teeny bit so I don't smack my knuckle. Alright. Sorry, I don't know why I did that. Hang on a second. There are a couple of those. Well, not in the main verse. What would those be? No, let me go through it. Hang on. Bastard! Hang on. Time out. could do that. And did it, okay? You know, at some point I'm going to try doing this gosh darn song all the way through. Do the whole thing. Takes a hell of a lot out of you. John Paul Jones said in an interview, he was like, yeah, rock and roll, boy, that was a hard number. That I remember he said here, somebody said they had to do a certain thing to do. There we go. Ooh. It's gonna fall. They had to do a certain thing in the mix to really make it percussive, like really get the hi-hat up. There was something they did in the mix. But I really, look at how out of breath I am. In the mix, to sort of, I think, really bring up that percussive effect. Now, of course, I wasn't sitting there. It's possible he was tapping the snare real lightly the whole time. But I think that's sort of sorry. I think that's sort of a knee-jerk John Bonham fan drummer reaction, because everybody kind of sees him doing it at Nebworth, okay? Because if you see other clips of him playing it live, he doesn't seem to be doing it. There might be a picture, there might be a clip from Australia, 1970, man. I know this is so Zeppelin geeky. We can kind of maybe see his left hand doing it, but like the Madison Square Garden stuff, and I don't see him doing it at all. He's just banging away on the hi-hat. Interestingly enough, if you really watch Bonham, he really has the wave down. When you watch him Madison Square Garden, watch him there. When they first bust into the tune, look at his arm. He's doing it, okay? God love him. Look, like a Mullery whipping thing, okay? All right, oops, sorry. Mullery whipping thing. So, here we go. Hopefully that's very helpful. Also, too, I was going to say, I probably should bring this up. You know, they were talking about, who was it, Richard Branson or whatever. The Virgin guy offered like $800 million to Led Zeppelin to tour. I mean, mainly it's directed at Robert Plant. Now, I don't know, they say it's, I think the publicist said it wasn't true, but I'd say given the light of many offers by money-grubbing bastards, we'll say, which a lot of them are, but a lot of them too are, well, let's call some of them money-grubbing bastards. What you could do, Robert Plant, would be, if you said yes to the tour, and for these reasons, there's no doubt you've been loyal to John Bonham, right, and the concept of the band. But, that said, I think you've shown your integrity, that's for sure. But what you could do would be, if you thought to yourself, think like later, afterward, like maybe in a couple of years, you'd be like, man, I could have done this, and what this could be is this. You could have done this is now this, in this present time. All right, you know what? Give me the 200 mil. I'm going to give it to the charities of my choice. Okay, so you're not doing it for the money. In fact, look at it this way: you'd be doing it for the kindness. You really would. You'd be like, wow, I'm a guy lucky enough in this world, as you've said, to be where you've been, and you're also God-given talent for the love of God. But you could say, hey, man, you could really help a lot of people with that 200 million. Now, here's the thing. I honestly don't mean this as a guilt trip. It's not at all like that. It truly isn't. Because why you're not doing it has nothing to do with other people or helping people. It really is your integrity, which is, I totally understand. You know, really, I know a lot of fans. I remember I was devastated when I read that. We will not continue as we were. But I thought, well, wow, that's pretty. Think about it, man. Those are good folks if they're loyal to somebody like that. Anyway, my point now is you've been loyal. Everybody has been loyal to him. But you could really say, all right, well, I'll do the tour. We'll do these whatever dates. And just give the money to some charities. And a couple things would happen. If the day you announced, yeah, like slow motion, be like, I'm going to do there would be numerous seismic events on the planet. Everybody would freak out. It'd be probably the biggest entertainment thing since, I don't know. But it'd be huge, okay? And then, if you then said at the press conference, and I'm donating all my proceeds to charities or charity or whoever the hell you want, educate people, fusion, whatever. They'd be like, wow, man. I mean, you might, God, I'm sweating from this rock and roll. You might, I mean, God, win a Pulitzer, a Nobel, a Tony. So that's what I'm saying. You know, that could be thought of, I think. So I think we Bonham and Zeppelin fans and everybody, of course, admires, you know, I don't know. I probably shouldn't even include this in the video. But just, I'd say mull it over. You know, think of what that money would do for a bunch of people. I think Bonham definitely, as he always would be, up on stage. I mean, you guys have played as Zepp before. I mean, you have. Remember that, too. You did do Live Aid and stuff, right? So, That's what I would say. And I think a lot of us other Zeppelin people would say. Either way you go, no hard feelings. I'm just saying, if you're sitting up late one night and one of your friends or somebody's like, hey, look at this joker on YouTube. Listen to what he's saying. I mean, just think about it. 200 mil, man. Wow. Help a lot of folks with that. Or do whatever the hell you want with it, because it's your cash. But imagine, I'm telling you, you'd make so many people happy if you went out on tour. And it doesn't have to be the cash fest. Tell the promoters, guys, do it yourself. Don't even go crazy with the promotion. You can cut the promoter, you can cut advertisers out if you want. Think about that. Don't think of it as like some big guy coming pulling you guys in with money. Like, come on, you musicians, dangle some cash. Do it yourselves. Get Concerts West and those dudesicles from the old days. Take it out on the road yourself. Charge what you want. Bring it down if you want. But anyway, still donate your cash to charity. This way you'd have your own tour. Doing it yourself. Money grubbing at least most of them out. Okay? You guys can still, you wrote the terms in the 70s. You can write them again now. So, anyway, everyone else, thanks for watching my videos. And maybe people won't even get that far in the video. But let's just see what happens. Okay, just remember, I'm sorry, two things. One, the ending, okay? Of course, the ending. Okay, I have another video, the ending of rock and roll. Go to it, Bonzolium, but rock and roll end. The other big thing, by and large, that has to be addressed is the ba-da-da-da-da-da-da-da. Okay? Ba-boom, 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 boom, boom, ba-boom. You just gotta loop it over. Okay? Well, I didn't do it there. It's just ba-boom, ba-boom, and if he was doing the hand, let me try that. Okay, again, I don't think he's doing the hand there except on the certain parts of this. And this. Okay, so, sorry to add that on because I realized I didn't put that in the video.